Simon Nyombi is my name. You are welcome to Bethany Land Institute. Where we are is the 1 acre model homestead, or you can call it a 1 acre model farm. So we are going to see how one can use 1 acre of land to meet 3 basic needs. 1, to meet the environmental needs, the food needs, and the income needs for this family. So what we are coming up with here is a site which we have identified. It's a 1 acre plot where we want to see these 3 aspects addressed. Assuming a farmer has only 1 acre of land, how can this person survive financially, survive with enough food, and also at the same time conserve the environment? So we are going to see the different approaches, the different designs we have come up to make sure that these 3 aspects are realized on this 1 acre of land. So the farming system we are using is the agroforestry food system design, where we integrate food, we integrate fruits, we integrate income generating crops, at the same time building the capacity of the soil to give us products, food, healthy food, and income. So the projects we are setting up on this land, first of all, we have when it comes to food production, we have identified these 2 major crops on this land. We are producing coffee and bananas. These are going to be our main income sources long term. However, banana, this will take a year, and coffee will give us income possibly in 3 years. And in here we have so many other projects, other ventures we are doing. So since we are going to do both crop, animals, like we said, agroforestry, different systems. So when you look at this side here, we have so this garden, in fact half of 1 acre, we have put it under crop production. So the key, where we have put the key crops being coffee and the banana. So this particular side, so like you see, this is half an acre, but even half an acre, we have also partitioned it into 2 halves. So on my right, we have called it a banana design, and on my left we have called it a banana coffee design. What's the difference in this? So in a coffee banana design, you have more coffee. On the other hand, the banana coffee, you have more banana. So this side, our main crops is coffee and the banana. These are going to bring in income long term. And apart from the coffee and banana, because what we are doing here, we want to run away from the monoculture systems, which are deficit agricultural systems, where you need to supply fertilizers continuously, you need to buy seeds continuously. So here we are basically using regenerative principles. So where we have our land, the land needs are catered for. If we have animals, we have feeds to feed the animals. We also have plants we grow particularly to feed the land and the microorganisms within the soil. So if you see this side, for instance, for us, we call them, we plant all our crops in lines. So this particular line, I would call this one a coffee line. But in the coffee line, you realize there are so many other trees growing. So in this system, we plant what we call fertilizer trees. We plant what we call protective plants and biomass plants. So this is what it takes. So if you look at plants like these are house beans. This is not food for human, but this is food for animals. It's a very high yielding bean. It will give you very many pods. These can be harvested when they are dry. In fact, this is a more of a biannual crop. To last for quite 2 seasons. You can harvest the pods and the feed. You chop this, feed the goats, feed to the cows. You can harvest the leaves, feed to your animals. At the same time, you can harvest the dry beans if you allow it to dry, and then you feed you use this as soybean and feed your animals. You mix it in feeds as soybean. So this is what happens here. So in the same garden of banana coffee, we have other crops like you see cassava growing. In fact, you see our garden is in rows. Between a coffee line and then a banana coffee line, we have a space of 4 meters where we can play with other crops. You are free to put here beans, you are free to put here maize, groundnuts. Like take for instance, the other side we have put pineapples. Those are high value crops. We have put cassava. You are free to put anything of your interest. You can put potatoes, you can put anything of your interest in a coffee banana plantation. On our boundaries, in a way of protecting our soil, we have introduced this very important grass, vetiver grass. This grass is capable of recycling water, nutrients from as far as 3 meters. So you realize that this system can support itself. It's a long-term system that can meet its fertility needs, it can meet its soil needs, because you see the garden is all covered. Within a few years, you are going to see an integrated system. You see trees growing at different heights. You have plants growing at different root zones. So in so doing, you are able to balance the nutrient cycle, the water cycle, and then the carbon cycle. Because most of these plants, like for instance, sesame here, at this stage, I can just chop and drop. If I'm not going to feed them to the animals. These will decompose and add the nutrients, the carbon in the soil. There are so many other trees. If you look at Tiflosia, for instance, this is a protective plant. This will not allow things like termites. It will not allow so many other pests that will come to attack your crop. So you realize this combination of so many crops, they help to they work together in a synergy, so each supports one another. Look at this tree. You have a banana here. When it is too hot, you already have some shade. This plant will not suffer a lot. Eventually, when it gets wet, you just cut and then you have the banana flourish.